Okay. Hello, students. Now we will see the remaining part from our syllabus, that is applications of GIS, GPS, remote sensing in planning. We have introduced or covered some part of it also in our earlier lectures also. Now we will see or we will complete this remaining part, and then we will complete our syllabus. So we have explained what is GIS, what is GPS, and what is remote sensing, and how it can be used, or how this advanced technology is useful in the planning process. We have seen a development plan. So in the preparation of development plan also, you can use GIS, that is for preparation of different maps to overlay different land uses, road network, then again utilities, then reservations, like that. You can see the development plan copy also. Then GPS, that is global positioning system in terms of latitude and longitude. You can see one of the video related to latitude and longitude, that will explain you how we are referring the location of any point.
Every company will be a tech company in the future, and data will be the fuel that powers this revolution.
Hey people, I am Richa and I welcome you to Perchum Competition Classes. हमने स्टार्ट की थी वर्ल्ड मैप सीरीज जिसको आपने बहुत पसंद किया, उसके लिए थैंक यू, आपके कमेंट्स मैंने पढ़े। आज हम उसी वर्ल्ड मैप सीरीज में सेकंड लेसन या सेकंड चैप्टर लेके आए हैं। जिन्होंने फर्स्ट लेसन नहीं देखा हो प्लेलिस्ट में आप देख सकते हैं। आज हम डिटेल में लैटिट्यूड्स लॉन्जिट्यूड्स पढ़ेंगे। जितने भी इंपॉर्टेंट लैटिट्यूड्स हैं, कौन सी कंट्रीज से गुजरते हैं, कौन सी रिवर्स उन्हें इंटरसेक्ट करती हैं, प्राइम मेरिडियन के बारे में कौन कौन सी कंट्रीज से जाती है वो भी हम पढ़ेंगे। उसके अलावा कुछ ऐसे इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स हैं जो एग्जाम के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, जैसे 1 डिग्री कितने मिनट्स एंड ऑल में डिवाइडेड है, सब कुछ एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग अबाउट लैटिट्यूड्स एंड लॉन्जिट्यूड्स आज हम कवर करने वाले हैं। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं आज की क्लास। यहाँ आपको लैटिट्यूड्स वाला स्लाइड दिख रहा है। तो लैटिट्यूड यानी अक्षांश होता क्या है? तो अक्षांश बेसिकली इक्वेटर से पैरेलल लाइंस होती हैं जो कि नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फेयर में नॉर्थ पोल तक जाती है और सदर्न हेमिस्फेयर में साउथ पोल तक जाती है। ठीक है, इक्वेटर से पैरेलल। फर्स्ट क्लास में भी मैंने आपको बताया था पैरेलल होंगी किसके? इक्वेटर के, और आपस में भी एक दूसरे के, लेकिन क्या इक्वल होंगी? नहीं। देखिए अर्थ आपको पता है प्रॉपर स्फेयर नहीं है, वो ऑब्लेट स्फेरॉइड है, यानी कि वो ज्यादा ही ऑब्लेट हो गया है ना, नॉर्थ और साउथ पोल पे से थोड़ी सी दबी हुई है और साइड से थोड़ी बाहर निकली हुई है। इस कारण जो सेंटर में 0 डिग्री रेफरेंस जो है, जैसे हम इक्वेटर कहते हैं, उसकी लंबाई सबसे ज्यादा होगी उस लैटिट्यूड की। ये जब पूरा घुमा के 3D में समझे, और जो उसके बाद वाले लैटिट्यूड्स होंगे ऊपर और नीचे, यानी उत्तरी गोलार्ध और दक्षिणी गोलार्ध में, नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर एंड सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर, उनकी लंबाई इक्वेटर के कंपैरिजन में कम होती जाएगी। तो ये पैरेलल तो होती है लैटिट्यूड्स, लेकिन एक दूसरे के बराबर नहीं होती है। अब 1 डिग्री में कितने किलोमीटर होते हैं ये तो आपको पता होगा, लेकिन यहाँ मैंने 3D डायग्राम लिया है आपको समझाने के लिए कि डिग्री कहाँ से देखी जाती है और किलोमीटर्स कहाँ मेजर किया जाएगा। ठीक है, तो देखिए ये अर्थ का कोर है, ये एक इमेजिनरी लाइन हम लेते हैं, उसको हमने 0 डिग्री मान लिया, इसको हमने नाम दे दिया इक्वेटर। ये सारी लाइंस इमेजिनरी है, काल्पनिक है, वास्तविक नहीं होती है। इससे जब हमने 1 डिग्री का एंगल बनाया कोर से, इसको बेस लेते हुए, तो ये अर्थ पे कहीं मान लीजिए यहाँ आके टच हुआ, तो ये जो सरफेस पे इनके डिस्टेंस है ये कितना है? 111 किलोमीटर का। ये बात समझ में आई? ऐसे एक करके हम टोटल 90 डिग्री एंगल अचीव करने के लिए, यहाँ देखिए यहाँ बेटर समझ में आएगा, ये इक्वेटर है, ये नॉर्थ पोल का 90 डिग्री है, ये 0 डिग्री है। यहाँ से पूरा यहाँ तक जाने के लिए हमें 90 डिग्री के 90 एंगल बनाने पड़ेंगे, 1 2 3 4। ठीक है, तो टोटल लाइंस कितनी होंगी? ऊपर के हेमिस्फेयर में 90 लाइंस, नीचे भी हम यहां से लेके साउथ पोल तक जाने के लिए हमें 90 डिग्री के 90 एंगल यानी 90 लाइन बनानी पड़ेंगी, और उसमें इक्वेटर का 0 भी जोड़ लो तो 90 + 0 + 90, टोटल हो जाएंगी लास्ट पॉइंट 181 लाइंस यानी 181 लाइंस। सो 3-4 बातें यहाँ इंपॉर्टेंट है। जो लैटिट्यूड्स हैं एक दूसरे के पैरेलल होते हैं लेकिन इक्वल नहीं होते हैं। क्यों, वो मैंने समझा दिया। 1 डिग्री में 111 किलोमीटर होता है, कैसे, वो मैंने आपको समझा दिया। ओके, और टोटल लाइनें कितनी होती हैं लैटिट्यूड की, तो यहाँ पे एक और पॉइंट मैं अभी बताऊंगी। 90 डिग्री नदर्न हेमिस्फेयर की 90 लाइंस, 90 डिग्री सदर्न हेमिस्फेयर की 90 लाइंस और एक इक्वेटर की। लेकिन कई जगहों पे जो मुझे भी सही लगता है वो ये मानते हैं कि नॉर्थ पोल और साउथ पोल यानी आपका उत्तरी ध्रुव और दक्षिणी ध्रुव तो एक बिंदु है, पॉइंट है, वो लाइन नहीं है, तो हम उसको लाइंस में काउंट कैसे कर लेते हैं। ठीक है, तो अगर इस कॉन्सेप्ट को लेके चले तो यहां से एक माइनस कर दीजिए, यहां से भी एक माइनस कर दीजिए, यानी 89 प्लस 89 प्लस 1 मिलके 179 लाइंस बनेंगी अक्षांश यानी लैटिट्यूड की, और 2 पॉइंट्स यानी बिंदु बनेंगे। ठीक है, अब क्या आंसर दें, 181 या 179? ये आप, हमने 20 डिग्री का एंगल बनाया, कॉर्नर्स देखें कि कितने लैटिट्यूड या कितने लॉन्जिट्यूड तक एक्सटेंड होता है इंडिया, तो 68.7 मिनट्स ईस्ट से 97.25 मिनट्स ईस्ट तक, दोनों जगह ईस्ट क्यों, क्योंकि ये ईस्टर्न हेमिस्फेयर यानी पूर्वी गोलार्ध में पड़ता है इंडिया वेस्ट में आता ही नहीं है, समझते हैं ना इसको। अगर हम प्राइम मेरिडियन यहाँ से जाएगा ही नहीं, उधर है कहीं, कहां से आता है, किस तरह से बनता है, उसके लिए मैंने आपको मैप दिखाया। अभी कहां से आता है, इसकी कैलकुलेशन क्या जाता है, वो किलोमीटर और लैटिट्यूड यानी अक्षांश। और इनकी एक खास बात होती है, जो खास बात है वो आपको पता होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि ऑप्शन 0.75 किलोमीटर इसकी लंबाई होती है, और अगर आप माइल्स में देखो तो 24,900 एडेड फोर्स मिल जाएगी, और इसलिए सुविधा होती है। आपको पॉइंट दिख रहा है, ये एक आइलैंड कंट्री है, अफ्रीका की टेरिटरी में ही आती है, इसको बोलते हैं साउ टोम एंड प्रिंसिप। उसके बाद में ये एंटर हो रहा है गेबन के अंदर, फिर रिपब्लिक ऑफ कॉन्गो, फिर डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक ऑफ कॉन्गो, ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर भी, ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैप्रिकॉर्न भी। तो इस पूरी कहानी जो मैं अभी आपको सुनाऊंगी उसमें इक्वेटर को भी हम डालेंगे ताकि आप कंफ्यूज ना हो ये किसकी स्टोरी थी इक्वेटर।
So now you must be remembering equator, Tropic of Cancer at the upper level, and Tropic of Capricorn also, and the latitudes, vertical lines. So these two coordinates will define the location of each point. In your GPS or in your mobile also, you are sending your live location, or you are sharing a particular location to the others. You are using Google Maps. All these are the applications of, we can say, GPS.
मैंने ये दोनों चीजें ले ली क्योंकि दोनों में कॉन्गो कॉमन आएगा, तो डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक ऑफ कॉन्गो एंड रिपब्लिक ऑफ कॉन्गो, युगांडा, यू से, के से केन्या, एस से सोमालिया। अब किसके
Compliments and compliments. Everyone just loved my presentation, and I only spent 30 minutes on research. Others.
Place. So let's see what these latitudes and longitudes are. Now, before we understand the latitudes and longitudes, I will show you a very important thing. Now, this is our planet Earth. As you see here, there are no lines on planet Earth. In fact, even you see this line even here is not an actual line. This is an imaginary line. Now, why do we have this imaginary line? Divides the entire Earth into two equal halves, equator, and this is the North Pole and South Pole. So what are these North Pole and South Pole? Well, the northernmost point of our planet. What does the equator do? Well, the equator divides the Earth into 2 equal 60, 90, and so on. Similarly, in the southern, we take negative numbers. So, minus 30, minus 60, minus 90. So, when you have any number that is in negative degrees, that means it is in the southern hemisphere. And if we have it in positive, then it is the northern hemisphere. Now, there is another way in which these numbers are written. So, they are also called parallels. Very similar to latitudes. But, so another way of writing these is that you can write these numbers as 60° east, eastern hemisphere. Latitudes are. Now, these latitudes and longitudes together make up a grid which covers the entire Earth's surface, and every point on this grid is one location. So, and 139° east. Similarly, Sydney has the latitude and longitudes of 34° south, 151° east. So, now we have one point of this latitude and this longitude is the location of this city, which is Sydney. Mark a location on planet Earth. What it does is it finds its latitude and at Earth. So Google Maps is also able to locate any location on planet Earth. So as soon as you mark a location on planet Earth, what it does is it finds its latitude and longitude. So you see this here, 37° north, and here 122° west. So here is our latitude and here is our longitude. So with the help of these numbers, Google Maps is able to locate this place and tell us all about its directions and how to reach it. So you see, we have, for our convenience, drawn a number of lines on the entire Earth. Among them, the prime meridian and the equator are the most important ones. And with them as the base, we have drawn some other lines. For example, with equator as the base, we have all the different latitudes. And with prime meridian as the base, we have all the different longitudes. And with the help of all these latitudes and longitudes, we are able to locate any place on planet Earth. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions.
My job is to make college easier because students have a lot on them.
Learn all about latitudes. Latitude.
Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking
Okay, this was the short introduction about latitude and longitude. So in urban planning, if we know particularly the places with respect to these latitude and longitude, we can define the location properly. You can have GPS tracking system for the vehicles. So in advanced surveying also, or in infrastructure project also, what we do marking of all these points. Suppose we are constructing a bridge, the location of pier is marked with the help of total station, and now the DGPS, new advanced technology, by using the satellite, it is very much easier to locate the positions on the Earth surface remotely, we can say. So you can search for DGPS technology in the YouTube video. So by using GPS and some advanced technologies like DGPS, digital global positioning system, we can say, so you can use that platform for locating the positions. So there will be the greatest accuracy, and there will not be any change in the alignment or in the, we can say, path. So during tunneling also, you can see during the construction of tunnels for metro, you see the construction or tunneling work starts from different ends or at different points, and finally breakthrough, that is the final these two ducts or the openings will meet, and exactly you see that particularly the tunnel alignment matches with the predetermined size or points, and that is the we can say benefit of such technology. You can see some more videos related to GPS or tunneling, applications of GPS technology in tunneling or even in uh, fixing the location by using DGPS. Similarly, remote sensing is nothing but taking images remotely. Earlier, they use aeroplanes or parachutes to take the images of the Earth's surface. Afterwards, with evolution, we see that uh, satellites are launched. These satellites keep revolving around the Earth, and they keep taking images continuously. So, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, satellite keep revolving around the Earth's surface as the Earth revolve around Sun as well as around uh, ourselves, or Earth is revolving around, you can say, herself or itself. तर त्या पद्धतीने ते रिव्हॉल्व होताना आपले सॅटेलाइट जे असतात ते जिओ स्टेशनरी आहेत किंवा काही जिओ सिंक्रोनस आहेत, त्यामध्ये वेगवेगळे टेक्नॉलॉजी आहेत. काही एका जागेवर स्थिर असतात. स्थिर असेल तर काय होईल, मुव्हिंग पिक्चर मिळेल आपल्याला, आणि काही पृथ्वीच्या वेगाबरोबरच मूव्ह होतात. त्यामुळे काय होईल, इन द सेम डायरेक्शन. त्यामुळे काय होईल, कंटिन्युअसली त्या पर्टिक्युलर पार्टशी त्यांचा कॉन्टॅक्ट असेल आणि तेवढ्याच भागाचं ते ऑब्झर्वेशन करत राहतील. मग याचा फायदा काय होईल की बाय युझिंग अनालिसिस, म्हणजे ENTC मध्ये एक ब्रँच आहे, इमेज प्रोसेसिंग. द इमेजेस टेकन बाय द सॅटेलाइट्स आर इन डिफरंट फॉर्म. आपल्या फोटोसारखे नसतात की डायरेक्टली आपल्याला जसे फोटो दिसतात त्या पद्धतीने सगळं काही दिसेल, तसं नसतं. तर देअर कलर कोड इज डिफरंट. वी हॅव टू अनालाइज इट फॉर आवर ॲप्लिकेशन. We have to decode that land uses, and we have to bring it or upload it in GIS for the analysis purpose. And with that, you can use it for many purposes. You can find out the increase in the urbanization. You can find out development trend of that particular area. You can see the unauthorized constructions. You can see even you can measure the crop yield also, or crop area, even crop yield, if we take pictures or images at different timing. म्हणजे तुम्ही क्रॉप लहान असताना जरी तुम्ही क्रॉपचं मेजरमेंट केलं तरी त्याच्यावरून तुम्हाला म्हणजे तलाठी किंवा गावाच्या भागामध्ये दॅट पर्टिक्युलर रजिस्ट्रेशन जे करतात, instead of that you can directly also you can measure the amount of crop that is in the land of particular you can say survey number or the owner. So that future technology will be like this, and the data will be automatically collected, information will be collected automatically, and it will be reflected in the database, and then accordingly there will be less chance to manipulate it. बऱ्याच वेळा काय होतं, नुकसान भरपाई वगैरे देताना वगैरे बऱ्याच गोष्टी ह्या मॅन्युप्युलेट केल्या जातात. एरिया जास्त लावला जातो किंवा पीक नसेल तरी पीक लावलं जातं. परंतु बाय युझिंग सॅटेलाइट देअर विल बी मोर ॲक्युरसी अँड ॲक्युरेट इन्फॉर्मेशन विल बी सेन्स. त्या पद्धतीने तुम्हाला मी पुढे दाखवणार आहे प्रेझेंटेशन. इन दॅट you will see how that particular analysis is carried out and information is made available for the users. So this is remote sensing. I have uploaded these notes on the Google Classroom also. So remote sensing is defined as science and art of obtaining information about an object area or phenomenon through the analysis of data acquired by the sensors that is not in direct contact with the target of investigation. This can be done by use of either recording or real-time sensing device mounted on aircraft, spacecraft, satellite, bios. बायोस म्हणजे काय? आपल्या समुद्रामध्ये छोट्या छोट्या होड्या असतात, त्याच्यामधले काही डिस्टन्स मेजर किंवा सर्वेइंग कामासाठी ते वापरले जातात. दॅट इज बायोस or ship. During the last 40 years, space travel has been giving humanity new opportunities not only to peer into the depths of the cosmos. Cosmos म्हणजे काय? Anyone? What is meaning of cosmos?
सर इंटरस्टेलर स्पेस.
येस, म्हणजे आपलं जे हे आहे, काय म्हणता येईल आपल्याला, सूर्यमाला म्हणतो आपण, किंवा आपली जी आकाशगंगा आहे, त्याच्याही पुढे अजून कितीतरी मोठी सिस्टीम असू शकते. ते आपल्याला सुद्धा अजून त्याच्याबद्दल जास्त डिटेल इन्फॉर्मेशन माहीत नाही आहे. म्हणजे तुम्ही आत्तापर्यंत जेवढे स्टार्स किंवा जेवढे काही आपण ऐकलेलं आहे की आपल्या काय आपल्या हेच म्हणतात ना, सौरमालाच म्हणतात ना, त्याच्यामध्ये 10-11 काही ग्रह आहेत. द पृथ्वी किंवा द अर्थ इज ॲट द थर्ड नंबर. त्या पद्धतीने एवढे बुध काही बुध, गुरु, पृथ्वी किंवा त्या पद्धतीने पुढे शुक्र असेल किंवा शनी, युरेनस, नेपच्यून, प्लुटो वगैरे जे आहेत त्या लाईनप्रमाणे हे सगळे मूव्ह होत आहेत. आणि त्याच्या पलीकडे सुद्धा, म्हणजे हा झाला आपल्या सूर्याच्या भोवती, अशा त्या वातावरणामध्ये किंवा स्पेसमध्ये कितीतरी सूर्य असतील आणि त्याच्या कितीतरी सौरमाला असतील किंवा त्या पद्धतीने आकाशगंगा एक आपण त्याला नाव दिलेलं आहे, आणि त्या पद्धतीने अशा कितीतरी आकाशगंगा असू शकतील. त्या पद्धतीने आपण आपल्या पृथ्वीवरचं लोकेशन किंवा पृथ्वीवरचे जे इमेजेस आहेत, जे सॅटेलाइट रिव्हॉल्व करतो आपण, त्याचं वर्किंग कसं असतं काय वगैरे, तुम्हाला ते सुद्धा सगळं लक्षात येईल. आय हॅव गिवन सम लिंक्स ऑफ इस्रो, IISRO, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, as well as IIRS, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, and ISRO. You search for the website of ISRO, you will get a lot of information related to space mission, which satellites are launched, what was the purpose of these satellites, and even some distance education programs are also available as a student also. So you can see applications in terms of, so all these are the remote sensing images. Even in the cloud cover, even forecasting about the rainfall is also made easier with the help of these technologies. You can see cloud cover, live cloud cover also. So you can see here, and the many terms are technical terms. You will not be able to understand some information made available on the website of MOSM or ISRO, but you can learn this as a separate subject. Now you can see there are some cyclones or some movements of the clouds in the southern part of India also, and as per the prediction there was rainfall in the Diwali also. दिवाळीमध्ये थोडासा पाऊस झाला, तुम्ही बघितला असेल मागच्या 2-3 दिवसामध्ये. त्या पद्धतीने याचे ॲप्लिकेशन्स खूप आहेत. विदाउट दिस इन्फॉर्मेशन इट वुड हॅव बीन डिफिकल्ट टू प्रेडिक्ट दी rainfall, or we can say even cyclones or other some calamities, natural calamities. So remote sensing enables us to acquire information about phenomenon, object or surface while at a distance from it. More than just a source of pleasing pictures, these sophisticated techniques now allow scientists to understand the earth in ways we never before dreamed. From 1960 onwards, since the beginning of space flights, an ever-growing body of information is being gathered using the space-based remote sensing. Agriculture, meteorology म्हणजे हवामानशास्त्र म्हणता येईल, ओशनोग्राफी, इकॉलॉजी, कार्टोग्राफी म्हणजे मॅपिंग, बॉटनी, जिओमॉर्फॉलॉजी, भूरूपशास्त्र, geology are just a few of the disciplines which have been transformed by this technology. Some of the most important environmental issues of our time are only becoming understood because of vast network of remote sensing devices and data analysis systems. In the practice, remote sensing is the standoff collection through use of variety of devices for gathering information on given object or area. Remote sensing is basically a multidisciplinary science which includes combination of various disciplines such as optics, spectroscopy, photography, computers, electronic and telecommunication. All these technologies are integrated to act as one complete system itself known as remote sensing. In the decades to come, remote sensing will be key tool for making critical decisions affecting the earth and its resources. In remote sensing system, number of components work as links and each one is important for successful operation. Okay, so you can see particularly IIRS channel is there, and you can see a lot of videos are uploaded on this channel. EduSat IIRS Dehradun. Okay, you can see a lot of videos are available, and you can understand these technologies in depth if we require.
Who knows you is how much influence you have. Who you are is how much personality you have. Now,
good afternoon and welcome to this session on overview of remote sensing and visual image interpretation. The process of remote sensing or the science and technology of remote sensing is basically for scientific data collection. So for any scientific project, if we need to measure data, we basically do it by two ways. One is the in situ method and one is the remote method. Now, what is the in situ method? The in situ, as the name suggests, is a method in which one has, or it could be reflected, urban areas with the feature of different kinds. We will NASA launched these kind of ground-based systems or instruments like not sensitive. Okay? But we see being able to observe an object or a scene or a phenomena using an instrument, and it is remote because the observation is done at a distance. Please note, without any physical contact with the object of interest. So I place my sensor at a distance and then I send out signals in the form of energy and detect this energy, such as light or any other form of energy. In the cases that we will be discussing, it is basically electromagnetic energy, and this is measured from a distance. And that is why it is called remote. Now, this process enables us to observe and study nature and natural features in many ways that would otherwise be beyond our capacity or capability. So we could look at things which are at great distance, and we could also see things through wavelength regions which the human eyes are not sensitive to. So we could see objects through the infrared region, we could see objects through the microwave region and get some information which we would otherwise not be able to sense, because human eyes are sensitive only to the visible portion of the spectrum, that is the electromagnetic spectrum. We will discuss this in the next few slides. Now, Earth orbiting satellites can be used, aerial photographs can be used, or ground-based systems or instruments like the spectrometer can be used for doing remote sensing. So it is up to the user to decide how remote is remote for them. So how far do you wish to place the sensor depends upon the application and the user and the problem at hand. Okay. Now we'll just begin with a quick recap of the history of remote sensing, how this technique began. It began with the invention of the camera and the capturing of the first photograph in the mid-1800s. Then the first, since the invention of the camera predates the invention of the aircraft, in the earlier days, these images were captured using platforms such as kites, balloons, and very often pigeons. So cameras were mounted on these platforms and they were flown or deployed over areas usually for military applications. So since the military personnel could not see exactly what was happening in hostile terrain, these kind of platforms with cameras mounted on them were used to get an idea of what was happening on the hostile side and then do proper planning. Right? Then, so pigeons, kites, balloons, etc. And then in the World War I and World War II, plane-mounted cameras were used extensively. Then came spy planes. In 1957, it was Sputnik 1, which began the space journey. The first meteorological satellite in 1960, the Tyros 1, it was used for meteorological purposes. 1967, NASA launched the Earth Resource Technology Satellite Program. This was the first civilian program for satellite imaging-based platform. And from 1972 onwards, it was called the ERTS or the Landsat as we know it today. And this is how the remote sensing of the Earth from space-based platforms began. Right? India began its journey with the launch of Aryabhatta, and today we have several satellites and platforms which give us a huge amount of data of different kinds. We will try and explore a few of them in this session. So we talked about sensors and platforms that are used to create images of the Earth. A sensor is a device that is placed on the platform, and this device records electromagnetic energy. Platforms, as I said, would be the carrier bed, which are used to carry a sensor. So if I'm using an aircraft and a camera is mounted on it, the aircraft would be the platform and the camera would be the sensor. In case a satellite is being used to carry several sensors, the satellite would be the platform and we would have those, the cameras would be the sensors. Now, what is the advantage of doing remote sensing? Why must one, invest so much money and so much effort to make happen? The answer to all our problems. So there are certain things which the images are several and diverse. Actual process, how does this technique function? So as I said, the prerequisite is that we have an energy source. Now, since the sun encounters, it would be and you use fundamental thing to understand, simply because we as human beings go to the bank discretely separate, and we are able to see more details on this image. So a 10-meter image grayscale happens to be slide or an earthquake. Sensors usually don't give us much data. So if you see here, using images. When I am using different spatial resolution images, I need to connect the spatial resolution to the number of pixels and then see what the size of the object would be, color or hues or shades. So the difference to the number of planned housing colonies and unplanned housing colonies. So even though the tone would be the same for forest and orchard or planned colonies and unplanned colonies, but pattern would give you an idea of what these features might be. Then we come to texture. This is again a very, very important element of interpretation, and this refers to the arrangement and frequency. So there are various shades, but sometimes they give us clues about the shape or the heights of the objects. Then we come to association groups. Industrial area would be associated with the water body. Yes, so we will be able to distinguish between resources that school students could go through.
So we need to analyze all these images properly for our benefit. So there are different tools, different studies that require thorough understanding of all these techniques. This is special science, or you can say MTech in geoinformatics. IIT Roorkee also offers MTech in geoinformatics, or you can do MTech in geoinformatics in Indian Institute of Remote Sensing also. So you can see the process of remote sensing and data acquisition. Different wavelengths, spectrum. These are some technical terms. Visibility, we can say pixels. आपल्या कॅमेऱ्यामध्ये जसं असतं ना पिक्सेल, त्या पद्धतीने ॲक्युरेसी किती पाहिजे वगैरे त्यानुसार त्याच्यामध्ये वेगवेगळे प्रकार आहेत. सपोज एक एक्झाम्पल सांगेल मी की डे लाईटमध्ये फोटो काढले तर चांगले येतात, कधी मग रात्री आपल्याला अंधारामध्ये त्या पद्धतीचा कॅमेरा लागतो. तसंच आहे सॅटेलाईट सुद्धा, की ड्युरिंग डे टाईम वेगळ्या पद्धतीने प्लॅन करावं लागतं किंवा वेगळे कॅमेरे वापरू शकतो आपण. आणि त्याच पद्धतीने नाईट मोडसाठी सुद्धा आपल्याला काही वेळा इमेजेस घ्यावे लागतात आणि त्या पद्धतीने वेगळ्या स्पेक्ट्रमच्या किंवा वेवलेंथच्या आपल्याला कॅमेरे वापरावे लागतात. So interaction of EMR with atmosphere and Earth surface. So all this is the theoretical part of remote sensing. In general, if we see what is basic use of remote sensing is nothing but remotely you can take the images, you can decode it, you can use it for your urban planning. Urban planning मध्ये काय येईल, इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्लॅनिंग येईल, त्याचबरोबर अनऑथराइज्ड कन्स्ट्रक्शन्स मॉनिटरिंग येईल, लँड युजेस आपल्याला काढता येतील, त्यावरून बेस्ट सुटेबल लँड डिसाईड करता येईल, टोपोग्राफी, डिजिटल इलेव्हेशन मॉडेल चे भरपूर प्रकार आहेत की त्यानुसार आपल्याला इझिली बेस्ट सुटेबल साइट्स डिसाईड करता येतात. Then flood prone area can also be decided by using this remote sensing technology, digital elevation model, and it will be easier to plan for flood control or tsunami in that particular area considering these details. So these are the types of satellites. You can see geostationary satellites, polar orbiting or sun synchronous satellites. You go through these PDFs in detail. Types of remote sensing, microwave. I think this is used in the night time. In microwave region, there are two types of microwave remote sensing, passive and active. Elements of image interpretation, tone, shape, size, pattern, texture. आता जे आपण त्या व्हिडिओ मध्ये पाहिलं. There are so many videos in that particular channel. You just refer these videos. This is the Indian Institute of Remote Sensing channel. Then GIS, fast-growing trends in computer technology, information system, virtual world enables to obtain data about physical and cultural worlds, and to use it for research or to solve practical problems. Geographical information system, this is nothing but a map. We can prepare good maps, raster and vector model, layers, coverage. So we can prepare a map by overlaying different maps, different land uses, and then global positioning system. As we discuss a little about GPS, global positioning system, these satellites are revolving around the Earth. GPS components. So this is about the basics of GIS, GPS and remote sensing. Further, you can move towards the application part. GIS applications in urban planning. बेसिकली मॅप्स तयार करणं हे खूप छान किंवा इजियर झालं आहे असं म्हणता येईल आपल्याला. Applications of remote sensing, GIS, GPS for efficient urban management plan, a case study of Hyderabad city. You refer these papers, Hyderabad growth along the years. So with the help of satellite images, you can see the growth of Hyderabad city. You can understand the growth pattern, the issues of urbanization, and you can give good solutions also. Drainage basin. Drainage basin is important aspect for the controlling of urban flooding. With rise in urbanization, runoff increases. Urban planning and GIS. Basic details are given in this PDF file. You can refer it for your understanding. The IIRS videos are also important. Applications of modern survey techniques like GIS, GPS, remote sensing for better precision a survey. जुन्या काळी तुम्ही पाहिलं असेल की आपण मॅप्स बाय हँड बनवायचो किंवा आपलं जे ड्रॉइंग आहे दॅट बिफोर ऑटोकॅड आपण ते बाय हँड सुद्धा बाय युजिंग ड्राफ्टर्स बनवायचो. पण नाऊ द सिच्युएशन हॅज इम्प्रूव्ड. डिजिटल तयार केल्यामुळे सगळं काय होतं की ते इझिली मल्टिपल कॉपीजमध्ये प्लॅन करता येतं, प्रिपेअर करता येतं. दॅट कॅन बी सेंड टू दी डिफरंट युजर्स. GIS, GPS, and remote sensing. You refer all these study material available. Applications of remote sensing and GIS in urban and sustainability modeling at parcel level using multi-criteria decision analysis. This is one of the more reference for your use. You can go in detail. I will show you some of the more research papers which are prepared for this urban planning and related to urban flooding or urban flood control by using these geomatics tools like GIS, remote sensing and GPS in tomorrow's lecture. And with tomorrow's lecture, we will end our syllabus. If you have any doubt, let me know. We will discuss on that particular topic one more time in detail. And you have to upload your submission on Google Classroom as per the given instructions. You can see urban land use classification as built up and other public utilities, high density residential, then industry, so this is application of GIS, GPS, remote sensing in planning. We will see some part in tomorrow's lecture also, and then we will close or end of our you can say subject, or we will take revision of some of the topics.